Chapman Jr., a product of Buffalo's East Side, better known as Charlie the Tuna, a champion marathon swimmer who happens to be the only black person ever to swim across the English Channel. On August 25th, 1981, he swam from Dover, England to Saint-Gat Bay, France, near Calais, a distance of 21 miles in 12 hours and 30 minutes. It was exactly 106 years to the day that Captain Webb became the first person to swim across the channel. Charles was the 220th person to conquer the channel. He set records at Woodlawn Junior High, now Buffalo Traditional School, and at Bishop Turner and Lafayette High Schools. But his heart belongs to the Humboldt YMCA.
This is where it all started.
How old were you?
I was 6 years old at the time, and enrolled in the minnow program here at this spot.
You've come a long way from the minnow program, that's for sure. When did you realize you had the makings of a marathon champion?
Well, I think it really took me a long time just to learn how to swim. And then after I mastered swimming, then people were telling me that, you know, I had some potential, but I had to keep working. They never just told you you're going to be a champion or that, but they just told you to work harder.
Why haven't we seen more black swimmers?
I think the reason is because for so long, black people have not been exposed to swimming, and they believe that they're going to drown because they have a lot of different water-related accidents and drowning. So consequently, the majority of the population is gripped in fear of water.
So, and you're helping to turn that all around here. You've come back to this Y, and I understand that you're helping the youngsters out.
Right. Yes, I'm really glad, you know, to come back where I first got my formal lessons, because if people hadn't have taken out that time with me, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So I'm trying to give some of that same time back to the kids here.
What were some of your noted swimming achievements prior to the channel?
Well, in 1978, I became the third person in the world to swim around Alcatraz prison in San Francisco. My first official marathon began at the Dolphin Club in San Francisco in the Bay. I entered a 1 mile swim there, and I won it. And then I did some swims down the Sacramento River. I swam a 26-mile swim down the river. And then I went on to New York to set up my first world record from South Street Seaport to Coney Island in 1980, just before I went to swim the English Channel.
What kind of training did you go through?
One does not just take up swimming the channel just on a year or two's notice. I started in 1976, and it took me that time just to get up to the channel. I had to start out with slow, cold water swims.
It's 5 years.
Yeah, and you know, when you're trying to swim the channel, you can't be on a hot dog diet. You got to be eating superb food. You got to have trainers. You got to have boats to go out with you. Now, even before you can even attempt the channel, they always suggest that you make a 5 to 6 hour swim in the harbor, which is like 3 to 4 degrees colder than the actual channel water, because the water is so smooth in there. So I had to do a 5-hour swim before they would even let me attempt to make this one. And like the channel costs about $20,000. See, when you rent your boat can run from $1,500 to $2,500. And after you take the first 10 strokes, the money is theirs, whether you make it or not.
It was a 12-hour and 30-minute swim. What kind of troubles or problems did you have during those 12 hours and 30 minutes?
The water would have been, yes, it was cold. The temperature that day was about 59 degrees.
Did you get any cramps?
Yes, I got cramps. About halfway out, I got a cramp in my left leg, and I couldn't use it any longer, and I had to go to arms only. During the course of this swim, we ran into an oil tanker out there, and the oil tankers don't have any brakes in the channel, and we had to do a 1/4-mile turn to get out of the way of the oil tanker. Then we had to go, then the water got really foggy and cold, and I had to swim through a little bit of pollution and jellyfish. I was averaging 65 strokes a minute. around there. But one time I got caught in a tide for about 2.5 hours, and it just held me in one spot, just throwing those strokes, never moving. I never thought of giving up at any time because I knew that I was going to have to accept some pain in this challenge.
Finally, you see the coast of France. There's a buoy out there. Shore is just a short distance away. Was it that easy getting to shore?
Never saw the shore. The sun had set, and this was my first time swimming in the dark.
Oh.
And a storm kind of came up, and we had made it past the critical 2-mile buoy, and we were coming in, but I knew I was getting close because they stopped and they put on the overhead lights, and they were getting the dinghy boat out. See, on the end it got so cold and foggy too, we had to come in under radar. And it's a funny thing, I swam in, and the bottom of my feet just rubbed the sand, and then I knew I was there, but I never saw land. I was just like swimming, you know. And one of the observers, he got so excited just before I went in. He wanted to swim the last 300 meters with me. We had to stop and rescue the guy in the middle of the night.
Tell me, what kind of a feeling did you have when you finally walked on that shore?
Oh, it was a feeling of exhilaration, just great energy and joy, you know. Matter of fact, I really wasn't that tired. I wasn't even breathing that hard. I was just so pumped that I had made it in. And I thought that, you know, that was it. That was the ultimate, you know. I thought they might have been waiting for me in the streets of Buffalo when I returned, you know.
Do you have any words of advice for the young people that you're helping?
I would say to a young person, if they have a dream, that they should go for their dream and know that they have to pay the price to make the dream become a reality. And those that press on despite the adversity win. And they ought to know that they're going to run into some adversity.